Some TV characters are so great that they deserve their own show. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 TV characters that deserve their own spin-off.
This is your problem, Dean. You have no faith.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at small-screen supporting characters with personalities and backstories so compelling that they could have their own show.
Hopefully, if you follow my lead, you can avoid some of the mistakes I've made here.
Hello, John.
Like that one.
Number 10, Ron Swanson, Parks and Recreation.
If any of you need anything at all, too bad. Deal with your problems yourselves like adults.
A simple man who likes dark-haired ladies and breakfast food, Ronald Ulysses Swanson quickly established himself as one of the best characters on a show chock full of great ones.
I worry what you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Do you understand?
His deadpan attitude, harsh honesty, and skills in such areas as woodworking and wilderness survival, coupled with his strong dislike for the government, have endeared him to many a viewer.
I regret nothing. The end.
Despite his rough exterior, he's been shown to care deeply about his friends, and in later seasons, his new family. A spin-off could potentially focus on Swanson and his wife Diane, played by Lucy Lawless, as well as his two stepdaughters and young son.
Bring your checkbook.
I would like to punch you in the face again.
Number 9, Elektra, Daredevil and the Defenders.
Maybe I don't have to anymore. Maybe this is my chance.
After a bit of foreshadowing in the first season of the Marvel Netflix series Daredevil, our titular hero's ninja ex-girlfriend, Elektra Nachos, was introduced in Season 2, receiving a warm welcome from fans.
Hello, Matthew.
Elektra.
Caught in the middle of an ancient war, Elektra had to come to terms with her dark nature and killer instinct, choosing between the shadowy Hand organization, a distant father figure, and Matt's insistence that she follow a more heroic path.
Elektra, you still have a choice. The woman I know is still in there.
Is she?
Elektra was also a pivotal character in the team-up series, The Defenders, becoming part sympathetic villain, part dark ally to Daredevil.
You forget. I know when you're lying.
You've always wanted to find light in me. Look where I brought you.
Suffice it to say, fans would relish a solo series.
I appreciate the sentiment, Matthew, but I know who I am.
Number 8, Barry Zuckerkorn, Arrested Development.
Hey, you're not one of those silly men that's dressed like a woman, are you? No, baby, I'm the real thing.
There are a number of incompetent people hired by the Bluths that deserve a spin-off, including the less-than-amazing PI Gene Parmesan.
Gene! Oh, Gene! Isn't he the best?
Gene was far from the best.
Our pick, however, has to go to the morally dubious and bumbling lawyer, Barry Zuckerkorn, as excellently portrayed by Henry Winkler. Despite his choice of career, Zuckerkorn seemingly knows nothing about the law, and often falls into legal trouble himself. While a modern spin-off would be our first choice, so that Henry Winkler could keep the role, we'd also be interested in a prequel chronicling his rise to mid-level lawyer by cheating his way through law school. Who better for the role than Henry's son Max Winkler, who already played Barry in flashbacks?
Take to the sea. 3 miles out and it's a free-for-all. No rules, pirate radio laws.
Number 7, Marceline, Adventure Time.
Look at this, it's my new dance. It's called I Got Arthritis. Ugh. The end.
One of the show's most beloved characters, Marceline the Vampire Queen, is one of Finn and Jake's closest friends and allies. Much of Marceline's appeal lies in the fact that she's a punk rock vampire, genuinely likable, yet also flawed and relatable.
You know, I'm actually glad to see you. Maybe I'm the one who's nuts.
Additionally, she's hugely important to the lore and backstory of the show, with strong connections to important characters on the show, including Princess Bubblegum, the Ice King, and of course, the Lord of the Nightosphere and her father, Hunson Abadir.
Dad! Oh, always do stuff like this.
Oh, Marceline, I never know what's gonna set you off.
A spin-off that focused on her and her backstory would be reminiscent of the critically acclaimed Stakes arc from Season 7.
Some bad things happened to me when I was little. When I became a vampire, I was just a messed up kid. Now it's 1,000 years later and I'm still messed up.
Number 6, Daughters of the Dragon, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and The Defenders.
You were very brave out there.
I was very stupid out there.
Like Elektra in Daredevil, Colleen Wing and Misty Knight were introduced as supporting characters and potential love interests on Iron Fist and Luke Cage respectively, but quickly established themselves as some of the toughest and coolest characters in any of the Netflix shows.
This is voluntary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And off the record?
Absolutely.
So why are we doing this in an interrogation room?
Fans were excited to see the pair team up during The Defenders, reminiscent of the pair's detective agency from the comics called Daughters of the Dragon. A spin-off that focused on the sword-wielding ninja and the cop with a bionic arm would be a kick-ass addition to the Marvel Netflix world, and a show with 2 female leads of color would add some welcome diversity to it as well.
The hell did I just walk into?
Number 5, Hurley, Ben, and Walt, Lost.
Can you help me? I'm sorry? I could really use someone with, like, experience for a little while.
Following the final episode of Lost, an epilogue was produced that wrapped up a number of unsolved mysteries from the show. The epilogue's title, The New Man in Charge, referenced the island's new protector Hurley, and follows him and Ben bringing Walt back to the island, who had been absent except for a few cameos in the final few seasons.
You're not crazy, dude. Not even close. You just need to get back to the island, that's all. It's where you belong. It's where you've always belonged.
A spin-off featuring a new era on the island with these 3 returning characters is a show with a built-in fan base. However, a follow-up about a journey off the island could be just as compelling, following Desmond's odyssey to once again get back with his wife and son.
Penny? Penny! Penny!
Number 4, Spike, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Angel.
A bear! You made a bear!
I didn't mean to.
Undo it! Undo it!
Originally meant to be a villain only appearing briefly, Spike proved to be such a popular character that he quickly earned himself a role as one of the main characters on Buffy, transforming into more of an anti-hero.
5 words or less.
Out for a walk. Bitch.
He was also one of the few one-time Sunnydale residents to cross over to the spin-off Angel series. Despite being a vampire literally without a soul, Spike displayed the most character growth out of any of the characters.
Jeez, lurk much?
I wasn't lurking. I was standing about. It's a whole different vibe.
In addition to his ability to love, he also won over fans for his fearlessness in the face of slayers, dry wit, and looks. His spin-off film never happened, so can we get a series instead?
Is everyone here very stoned?
Number 3, Troy and Abed, Community.
Cool, yeah.
Looking for something?
Nice.
This pair of lovable nerds and best friends provided many of the most memorable moments in this cult classic TV show, particularly the credit sequences that featured their bromance.
Manteca, bigote, gigante, pequeño, cabeza es nieve, cerveza es bueno.
Buenos días, me gustas papas frías, bigote de la cabra, es Cameron Diaz.
Originally a jock, Troy fully embraced his weird side once becoming closer with Abed, the socially awkward geek with an exhaustive knowledge of all things pop culture. While Troy may have left before the final season, a reunion of the pair would make for a hilarious spin-off. There are a number of different directions that a Troy and Abed spin-off could take, including a full version of their talk show, Troy and Abed in the Morning.
Troy and Abed in the morning, and we're back. Look who's here, Jeff Winger.
Jeff, how do you stay so fit?
Diet, exercise, genetics.
Sure.
Number 2, Eddard Ned Stark, Game of Thrones.
I, Eddard, the House Stark, Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North, sentence you to die.
Much of the first season of this epic fantasy series focused on the noble and honorable Warden of the North and ruler of Winterfell, Lord Eddard Stark.
You think my life is some precious thing to me? That I would trade my honor for a few more years of woe?
We've heard a lot about how he helped overthrow the Mad King, Aerys Targaryen, and place his best friend and foster brother, Robert Baratheon, on the Iron Throne as ruler of the realm.
The Mad King is dead. Rhaegar lies beneath the ground. Why weren't you there to protect your prince?
Our prince wanted us here.
A prequel show with Stark at the center could focus on Robert's rebellion, and could feature a number of intense battles, betrayals, and all other kinds of twists and turns. Of all the potential Game of Thrones spin-off, this is the one with the best chances of recapturing that Game of Thrones magic.
I don't fight in tournaments. Just when I fight a man for real. I don't want to know what I can do.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Hold up. Look, Val, you don't sing on the bridge.
Actually, the bridge is meant to be sung by two voices. What is up with you today, Jay?
What is up with you today, Mel? You're asleep at the snare drum?
Relax.
You said you were at the Marine unit?
Yeah,
What does the Marine unit have to do with a bunch of dead girls in a can?
not a thing.
Who are you?
Once you know, your life will never be the same.
I can take it.
Not this time. Ollie.
Number 1, Daryl Dixon, The Walking Dead.
But hey, shoot me again? You best pray I'm dead.
The Walking Dead has no shortage of stoic badasses whose survival skills have made them key players in the zombie apocalypse. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Michonne.
But anger makes you stupid. Stupid gets you killed.
But while Michonne was based on a character from the comics, Daryl was created to be a supporting role for the show, before he became a huge breakout character and quickly elevated to series regular. His longevity and hunting skills aren't the only reason the character should receive his own show, as he's developed from a jaded individual living in his brother's shadow to one of the most important survivors in the community, a person we'd like to spend more time with in a spin-off.
Are the only ones zen around here? Good lord.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.